You may not even see them, and they could just be coming out. Hey, there's a bug. Is that a moth? I think he farted. Ants, right?
Well, we've been trying to get some different products for you guys out there to show you how to do these ants.
Yeah, we went shopping and that didn't work out very well.
It was tough.
So we're here looking for ant stuff, right?
Yeah.
You want to avoid aerosols, I would say.
That's rapid knockdown. But again, most of the stuff you're going to find are these little motels or hotels.
Are they day rate hotels or
It's hourly.
Okay.
Yeah, they're dirty that way. But we actually did find, I love this, roach and ant.
They're not similar. But
okay.
what's the active?
Dinofuron.
Okay, well that's not horrible.
No. But I just love that they give you a tube about the size of a caulk gun. You don't need that much.
A small one. So this is a popular one.
The taro.
Yeah.
But that's roach.
This one's a roach one.
But they do have one for the ant.
Yep. See, they've got this.
The
They've
ant
got
liquid.
They've got that, and then they also have these little pre-built stations, little bait stations.
And I've found that they're not very effective. They don't typically go into those. They'll typically go to a bait where they feel safer because they can see all around them.
These aren't horrible, but I think that's better. And then we found this here. Do you see this?
Yeah, I was actually kind of shocked to see this.
This has got an active of fipronil. Now it's 0.001%.
Oh.
But fipronil is a non-repellent, and it does work for ants, so that could be something.
This taro is the active ingredient is sodium tetrabate decahydrate.
I think you said it right. That I've heard of it, so it can't be horrible.
Yeah. I'm just not seeing a lot of really good options with the baits.
Here's the problem. You can't buy a spray that's going to work because none of these are going to be time release.
Right.
So this is your best bet, is some of these baits.
It cracks me up with these motels.
I like them.
I feel like I'm in
awesome.
Vegas,
Yeah.
hourly rates.
Skyscraper, you can stack those up and build yourself a tower.
So what we figured out was you can buy some baits, little tube bait. I'm not going to show you what kind it is, but you can find some. You want a time release bait, and you cannot, in our local stores, we couldn't buy any mixed products for the backpack. But
Why did you want the time release bait? Well, I think we told them.
We did. You need something that they can take and bring back to the colony and kill off the colony.
If they die on the way to the colony,
Doesn't do you any good.
defeats the purpose. You're not going to kill the queen.
So you have to find a non-repellent spray. There are some, we hate to say it, but you can buy them online. We don't say that a lot, but
That's a dirty word.
We looked everywhere and couldn't find any. So two things that you need to treat ants. You need a bait and you need a spray. That's the right way to do it. You don't want a contact kill. You don't want an aerosol.
What about a granular?
We talked about that. There
are some granules out there that are okay.
a bait granule.
Yeah.
You can't buy like a grub thing and expect it to take care of your ants.
So it would be the same thing as like the gel. They would take the granular back to the colony and take
Yeah,
out the colony.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
a treat.
Now remember, when you're mixing your product, you guys are just as liable as we are as professionals.
Yeah.
The label is the law.
So wear your gloves and your sleeves and not your shorts. So obviously this is going to be different than a home, but some of the same ideas apply. When I'm doing an inspection, I'm going to go around the perimeter. And what's going to happen is if ants are somewhere in the yard, they want to get inside. So the best place for them to get inside is the lip of the siding.
Yeah.
On this metal building, this is sitting right on a seal. So they're going to come up and over and get in right here. See that?
And there is a gap there, so
Yeah.
they can penetrate in through the building. They're going to come up those areas too, because typically you've got moisture in those areas, so they can hide out and hang out.
So here's what you're talking about. Areas that they can come. They can crawl up this guy right here, that leaf, and go over and touch the building. So you may not even see them. And they could just be coming out, hey, there's a bug. Is that a moth? Whatever.
And we'll keep hounding this. If you guys really want to do a thorough ant treatment yourself, you've got to do a thorough ant inspection. Because you might find one trail, there might be 5 or 6 others that you don't see.
The longest trail I saw when I was treating was on a fence.
Yep.
It started in the back corner of the property, and it followed the fence all the way over and all the way up, and when the fence met up with the house, and they attached it to the house, and they were getting in that way.
And again, when you're doing this, make sure you take the time to look at these sticks, these leaves, the grass, anything touching the home, and make sure those ants aren't coming up.
So
the other place
we looked the other day, and this was an area where they were. Somewhere out here was the colony, and they were crawling right here along this piece of concrete and then going in the seam. So I'm assuming they were going in either somewhere underneath or right here. See, there's a pretty good gap right there, and that's where they would be coming in. So there's 2 things that we want to do. If we find a trail of ants here, we want to spray, and we also want to bait.
now, do you want to spray over your bait?
No.
How does this work?
You keep them separate. So if I'm going to bait and my trail's here, I'm going to bait across my trail. I'm going to try to put it somewhere where it's not exposed.
What do you mean by across the trail?
So if my ants are trailing like this, they're going in a line and they're going in and they're coming back out,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to bait across. So I'm going to spray some of this right here, come up to the bait, and it's going to stop them, and they'll be like, oh, chocolate cake, I want some. And they'll line up on it, and they'll eat it. I'll put in a clip of them lining up on some bait. That way we don't have to wait for them here.
There actually are some.
So now, if we've baited there and that's their trail, I'm going to go ahead and spray with my backpack sprayer. So I don't actually have spray in it because I'm wearing shorts and not the right equipment.
And Ben looks like a Ghostbuster, if you can't tell.
Yeah. But if I'm going to spray for ants, and I've baited right here, and I'm using a non-repellent, I'm going to spray. I'm not going to get on the bait, but I'm going to start spraying like right here.
So usually about 5 to 6 inches
away.
is decent.
And I'm going to go at least 4 feet of spray. So I'm going to spray all along here, 4 feet over, maybe go up and a little bit on the siding, and then some out in the grass.
And the great thing about the siding is, even if it's a mist, a lot of that will trickle down and get down into the
right
areas
to where they're going in. Yep. So the bait's there. We spray this side. We also spray over here along this lip of the siding. We don't spray on the flat concrete. Why not?
It's not permeable, and so your product's going to wash off, and it may go into ponds. It may go areas where you don't want it. And again, you're liable if it kills fish. You're in trouble.
Some states, they're not going to get upset about it, but most of the states, they say not to spray that. So we'll spray the vertical and the lip of the siding. And in this case, I'm going to come around here because this is where they're trailing. And I'll get some of this edge. You may be able to see in the yard some of the spots where they're digging holes.
Yeah, if you can find the mound, that's a great place to bait, great place to treat around.
And I'll take my tip off and I'll even stick it right in the hole and fill up their burrow, their nest.
And that's what you're supposed to do if you have fire ants. We don't have a lot of fire ants out here, so we don't have to douse the ant mound.
Now, northern Midwest, they've got more pavement ants, which are going to be in people's driveways and by the cracks in the sidewalks and stuff. They're going to pull up little mounds of dirt, and you can see them going from there. You're going to have to spray those.
Yeah.
You'll have to forgive me, guys. I missed a part of the series here, but so why are you not baiting on the inside?
Well, you can bait on the inside. I did it once as a test, and my wife hated me forever.
And that's what we actually used to do. And it's great to show everybody, hey, look, you've got ants.
And lots of them.
The problem is when you bait on the inside, guess what you're drawing in?
More ants.
More ants.
So the best thing to do is to put your baits outside where it's closer to their nest, and you're going to pull them out of the house instead of bringing them into the house. We want to pull them out. You can see them outside, and it'll take a few days for them to die off, but I don't want to wait 3 or 4 days inside and have thousands of ants crawling on my counter because I baited.
And this is a tip. This is a professional tip that we're giving to you guys out there. There's actually a lot of companies that don't do this. We bait on the outside. It's taken us years to learn this. Like you said, you don't want to draw them in, you want to draw them back outside.
Now it'll work. If you bait inside and you spray inside, it will eventually work and kill them off, but you're gonna have 3 or 4 days of you hate yourself because you brought them in.
And then you've got gel baits and sticky stuff on the counters and in areas where the kids may put food. It's better to put it on the outside.
We prefer to do that. Pull them outside.
Whew.
All right, treating ants. It's actually fun for me, and you got to have the right products.
I think it's rewarding because if you do the thorough inspection, you find out where they're coming in, you know if you've got the right products, you can pull them out of the home and you're the hero.
And watching them line up on the baits is like the
like
best.
cattle to the feeding trough.
Yeah,
it's
man.
great.
They're stepping on each other. They're getting in there. So when that happens, you know you've got a good result. Sometimes you may have to reapply, rebait. You don't know how big the colony is.
And grab a couple of baits because they may not take one. My sister called me the other day. She's like, hey, the bait that I've been using isn't working. I said, well, change it up. Try this other bait. And she did, and the ants went right to that other bait. It's just like your kids. They may like one thing and may not like the other.
Well, and the difference is there are protein ants and then there are sugar ants. So depending on which bait you've got, you may have to change it up. So, all right, so that's ants. That's the basics. So we may not have answered every question that you have, which is okay.
But if we have something out there in the realm of pest control land where you guys want to know something, shoot us a question, shoot us a comment.
Comment down below if you want to see something specific or you need some help with a problem. Let us know. We'll try to address it.
We're happy to help.
So that's it for today. I'm Ben.
I'm Ryan. We're the pest control guys. Take care.
But we can spray this, and we can even come out here where they're trailing, maybe along these edges, and if I can see, you know, where they're digging in the is now mowing.
Yeah, he's gonna be there for a minute. What about the fire ants? Do they eat fire?
No, they breathe fire though.
They do.
It hurts. Hold it here. My nipples are hard.
Feels good in here. Who did it?
That hurt. You got the nub.
Oh, it doesn't matter. You can't justify it.